Aloha, my name is Manny Varize, and I was born and raised on this island, Hawaii. Aloha. Music first came into my life when I was around music. My dad had his group and, played every Sunday, 5 o'clock. Hawaii, the name of his group was Hawaii Blue Yodelers. And my mom, my dad, and his group, And I used to hear them playing from a young boy, 4 or 5 years old. And then I was very interested. I was interested in going forward and learning, So I asked my dad. I asked him, and he taught me when I was, ukulele was about maybe 5, 6 years old, like that. But I was about 8 years old when I first started. Daddy started teaching me, So then I went into the guitar. This is a 1947 model, Martin, 1947. And then he started teaching me when I was about 8 years old. I remember 8 years old. I was attending Waikia Waina School. And I was very, very, very excited, learning. And then I kept going, learning with him, and until I could be a backup strummer, And so he put me into the show every 5 o'clock Sundays,
Oh, okay.
We never had TV and all that,
Right. What year is this?
Oh, this was 1940. Oh, I think it was about 48, 49, 1949. 14 years we played at the KHBC radio station in Hilo, volunteer services. And Dad had many friends in Honolulu that they couldn't call, but they wrote to him that if they could have part of the show, to publicize themselves, like Gabby Pahinui, Johnny Alameda, the blind man, Johnny Alameda, Lena Ala Haile, many others, Fred Ponaho, he was a great slacky player from Kalapana. And they would be, always would be at our home, And music was all surrounded, around me. So, and my dad was a very good friend with Gabby Pahinui. So Dad had picked up from Gabby Pahinui slacky and tuning and with Mr. Fred Punaho from Kalapana. They worked county together. Mr. Fred Punaho worked and Gabby worked in the county. But before that, to make a short story, before that, my dad was a merchant seaman for a while with Gabby Pahinui, Mr. Gabby Pahinui. Then they went separate ways, and Gabby went to work for the county in Honolulu, and Dad worked here, county. But those days was only 10 days a month, The show was the Hawaii Blue Yodelers.
Okay.
And Mr. Al Green was the manager, Mr. Al Green. He was a wonderful person, nice man. And for many, many years, like I said, and they never had TV, So people would write to my dad and my mom. My mom and dad sang together, and gradually I did some singing and slacky and country music. I believe so that it's not bragging or boasting, but my dad, those years he was the first to accompany himself slacky and sing country music. That was nice. When my great grandfather came here, he went from Italy into Portugal, and he came here to work at the plantation. He was, our name was Barissimo. See, but my dad being in music, being in a music entertainer, he made it, the real pronunciation is V-A-R-I-Z-E, Varize.
Varize.
See? But then, you know, in Hawaii we say Varize. Yeah. But when I was attending school, my teacher the teachers always scold me, you know, and say, no, your name is Varize, V-A-R-I-Z-E. Kind of makes sense because, you know, Verizon.
Right, yeah.
As I got older, I played with some clubs at, you know, like high school. We had a group named the Barracudas, you know, and we opened the show at the auditorium for Brenda Lee, for Brenda Lee, Paul Anka.
So this is like the 50s?
Yeah, in the 50s already it was. We opened the show, you know, and that was fun, you know, that was fun. And I know the names of the group, if you don't mind. I'd like to mention the names.
Sure.
Was Herman Kamahele and his brother and myself, and I would play the lead. Herman Kamahele would strum along, and the brother. So it was fun days, you know, when you go into school. And when the first Marijuana came out, there was a Slacky concert, a Slacky contest. I entered, and Mr. Albert Nahalia, oh, what a wonderful writer, Mr. Albert Nahalia from Keaukaha. Oh, he wrote many, many songs, and he produced that contest, you know, and well, you know, I came first, number one, on the Slacky, you know, and not bragging or boasting, but there were many good players there too, and I was very fortunate to win that contest, you know. And I played with Brother Smitty, if you know, you ever heard of Brother Smitty? Brother Smitty was one of those entertainers that, as far as I know from the islands, he was about the only one that played with the late Chet Atkins. Brother Smitty was very good. And, well, we got a lot of good entertainers here, you know, in Hawaii. In 1960, the tidal wave, the tsunami, it kind of wiped out 100% wiped out Waiakea town, you know, Waiakea town. That's where the Naniloa area is, yeah, the hotel. So I wrote a song about my compassion. I felt it so much that after a couple of years later, I wrote the song Waiakea Town Railroad Blues. And I think of my grandfather, my father's father, you know, my grandfather, John Varize. He was a brakeman, and he loved his trains. He loved the trains, you know. I was just a young boy. Tonight my heart is crying, thinking about you times, remembering those lights on a little town at night, and the railroad tracks running through. She stood so tall beneath blue skies as the Hilo River rolled on. I would jump me a ride on the old 99 ride train ride. Why can't town railroad blues? I sing my song for you. Little house by the river would bring back the old days of time. Take me back to the days gone by, that little house by the sea, and tell me why you took her away. Why I can't why can't town railroad blues? I sing my song for you. That village by the sea where love waits for me would bring back the old days of time. I tell my story about this town, the people who loved her so dear. I'll never forget days at the tracks and the wire tail railroad blues. Why can't found railroad blues? I sing my song for you. That village by the sea where love waits for me, bring back the old days of time. Little rough the voice, you know, getting older. Now just soft. You see, the feeling.
The feeling, it's all about the feeling.
But I can play without feeling. This is not just not going to be. That is not going to be right. Well, for me, I don't know. I just fell in love the with the guitar and music. Being around, like I said, being around with music always with my dad and his group, and it's important to me. If I sometimes I think to myself, if I didn't know how to play the guitar, boy, man, how I'm going to get rid of my stress, yeah? Yes, I like to thank my granddaughter Courtney. You know, it if it wasn't for Courtney, I would never have met you. You know, and you wouldn't be here. Courtney and my daughter Kimberly and my wife. I want to thank her very much for, you know, being my wife for 54 years. When it's going to be. And I thank the Lord God. I believe in Him, and I say thank you to Him, and you know, helping me along the way, and learning from others, and respecting other musicians. Really, that's not just from here; it's from here. I'm saying, I respect all these players, even the young and old. I've learned a lot from them, even from the young
Players.
players. I've learned, and I want to thank you very much for being here, my friend. I every day we meet people that, and we meet new friends. Yeah, so by doing this, you know, I have a friend, and I always hold my friends with great respect and true feelings inside of me. Great respect.